F you, Devontae.
Welcome back to the Flex League, the only fantasy football league whose commissioner still owns stock in Kmart. I'm Todd Schaefer, and Julian's about to get really annoying. More on that later. It took 2 weeks for Christian McCaffrey to make history with his new team, becoming the first running back with a touchdown hat trick since the Bush administration, and just the third ever. We obviously knew he could run and catch a football, but CMC might even be more quarterback ready than Trey Lance was. Julian, turns out you were right. How are you feeling after the big week?
The last 2 weeks, you've won. You've definitely won.
Julian?
All in the same game.
God damn it. Anyways.
LT Jr. is relevant to 3 of the people on this call that I have, Christian McCaffrey beef with.
Look, I wasn't a believer. He had a great week, 40 points on the board. I don't know if we'll see it again.
No, we won't.
We're all expecting that shit not.
Jerry, Dalton, I am coming for your ass. AJ, I already took you off the board, and he disappeared.
I will stick by with what I said. I was not expecting Christian McCaffrey to have these blow-up weeks. Again, I don't think he'll have another one. I think it'll be a consistent 12 to 15 fantasy point back. Good for you, Julian.
12 to 15 points. He's second in the league in fantasy this year for running backs.
No, I know.
Hey.
Look, his...
Dalton does not have a good history of projecting scores, so I wouldn't be worried.
We'll just move on to other big performances for the week. Alvin Kamara also scored into the 40s at some leagues, and would you look at that, he's owned by Lisa Wilson's friends.
And having 40 plus from 2 players. Jerry put it in our chat. 80 plus points from 2 guys. That's ridiculous.
Wait, AJ, didn't you trade him one of those guys?
Here's the problem. Is it still would have worked out in my favor. That's the funniest part. Is the guy I traded him for DK Metcalf would have won me the game.
Alvin Kamara is calling me and saying that he's very happy with me.
AJ,
Let's spin the punishment wheel.
I just want to say.
Hey, no. We don't go based off of your time. We tell you when we spin the punishment wheel.
It's
No.
so,
This isn't your... No. You don't run the show. No. No.
Terry, I want to spin the punishment wheel.
I wasn't looking for an opinion, but okay. We'll come back to Julian because we have to, but I need a break, and I know you do too. Let's instead get a look into what life has been like for Mark Andrews over the past few weeks.
Do I really have to talk about Mark Andrews? Do I really? I'm not saying he's the main reason why I lost the last 2 weeks of fantasy, but what I'm telling you is that he is the reason why I've lost the last 2 weeks of fantasy. I have lost the last 2 weeks by less than 3 points. Count them. 1, 2, 3 points. Guess how many points Mark Andrews had the last 2 weeks? Not even 7. Couldn't have even given me 7 points the last 2 weeks. Week 7, I lose by Julian by less than 1 point. Guess how many points Mark Andrews gives me? 0.6. Goes into the game with a knee injury. Why even bother, Mark? I could have picked up any tight end in free agency and they would have given me more points than I would have won that week. Okay. Move on to next week against Tamir. I lose by less than 2 points. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? Guess how many points Mark Andrew gave me? Mark Andrew, he gave me 6. And guess what? He came out of the game with a shoulder and an ankle injury. So not only is he having a knee problem right now, but he's also dealing with his shoulder and his ankle. He's a number 2 ranked tight end in fantasy, but he hasn't been the number 2 ranked tight end since I've taken over this team, and it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, Mark.
Moving on to something less bleak, the Dallas Cowboys have shown up to the chat. Dak Prescott looked great this past week, and Tony Pollard really looked like he's coming for Ezekiel Elliott's job. Let's get Brianna on the horn to see if she can grab some words from our managers on the surprising Cowboys.
Thanks, Todd. I'm here with Prescott owner Dalton. You look pretty quarterback heavy. What do you do with Dak now?
I personally like to do something that most owners don't like to do in fantasy, and I'll stack quarterbacks and defenses and play it based on matchup. That's just how I personally play. It works out most of the time. But if there was a trade partner that came along, I would be open. I also have Aaron Rodgers on my bench. So got 3 very startable quarterbacks. I think A-Rod will kind of figure it out. Dak Prescott is a solid backup, and Tua is my starter.
A-Rod's being started was questionable, but I see what you're getting at.
Aaron Rodgers is consistently putting up 15 to 16 points a game.
Christian McCaffrey numbers.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey numbers.
Ooh, you got that. That was smooth.
And as for you, AJ, how do you use Tony Pollard going forward?
100%. This is what people were talking about when Zeke was having his decline last year, too. So I think regardless of whether or not Zeke was going to get injured, I think Tony Pollard was going to be the future of the Cowboys' backfield.
I believe in Tony Pollard. I believe in the talent. But Zeke is the ultimate sunk cost fallacy for the Cowboys.
If the question is, should you be starting Tony Pollard in your fantasy league? The answer is straight up yes.
Yeah.
He's played well. Even as the RB2, he still splits carries with Zeke. So he's still a solid flex option.
Lost playoff games because they don't run Zeke enough. And it's just shown because his usage is different now. So I think regardless of whether or not Zeke is healthy or not, Tony Pollard's going to be the answer. And I'm very, very thankful that I did not drop. I was this close to dropping Tony Pollard because I was like, I'm not really sure. It's kind of up in the air. And I was like, I'm going to keep him just in case. And I'm very thankful I did.
Great stuff as always, Brianna. Before we break into some more football, you know what time it is. 5 losers and 1 gets extra screwed by the wheel of punishment. Spin that wheel.
This is going to be
We
fun.
already know that Julian's going to have to fucking pick something again.
I'm finally.
So that's just how it seems to work. I swear, dude.
No. Okay, good.
Michael.
Oh, and Jerry just missed.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is Michael, not Corvo, but
Yeah.
Michael B.
You know what, Michael?
Okay.
You deserve a turn. Welcome to the winner's circle, my man.
And we have this week's biggest winner, Michael. What a way to kick off his tenure as Quad God's manager. Who's getting punished?
All right. It's some fucking. It's good. I know it's good. I'm so dead.
Oh. We're good. We're good.
AJ's hype.
We're good.
AJ's hype.
Dude, I would have been pissed if I
If
were
I score
AJ.
162
Damn.
and I get the punishment, this league is screwed. Oh, my word.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Hey, AJ, I can't wait to hear the good news that you're going to be bringing.
And it looks like Kendall of Brady's Bunch is getting the shaft this week. Let's see if we can get a statement from him. Brianna?
Thanks, Todd. So how are you feeling, Kendall? I know getting punished directly by the team that beat you in such a close matchup, I know that's got to sting.
Tell me Devontae Adams had got 1 point? Really? 1 point? I just need, I don't know, a touchdown? 80 yards, 60 yards, something like that? The Falcons give up a Hail Mary that cost me the game?
Not looking forward to what's waiting for him. We'll get to his punishment selection right after this week's Good News with AJ from the world of fantasy football.
We back. You know what time it is. It's the Good News with AJ, here to give you all the good news about how good you have it in fantasy football. AJ Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles has been amazing for the undefeated Philadelphia squad. The AJ Brown Jalen Hurts connection could not be any better. The only thing better is to keep AJ Brown in your fantasy lineup. Young running backs have been absolutely clutch for their offenses and for fantasy squads around the nation. Tony Pollard, Dante Foreman, Khalil Herbert, Ramondre Stevenson, and others have been coming up in big ways for their teams, and they better be for your fantasy lineup as well. And finally, Kyle Pitts has finally woken up. Where did this man go? He's back now. 2 double-digit performances in the last 3 games, and the Atlanta offense is continuing to stay sneaky in the NFC South as they lead the division. Keep Kyle Pitts in your lineup, and stay tuned for more good news every week.
All right, well, we might as well get this over with because in a clash of the week's biggest running back performances, AJ came up just short against Lisa Wilson's friends. I think Brianna has the owners on the line. Brianna, how's AJ doing over there?
Hey, Todd. So AJ, tight loss has got to sting, especially with the weak winner sitting on your bench. How are you holding up?
162. Didn't even get close to that.
I just wanted to thank you for tuning into fantasy therapy with me and picking up Wandale Robinson. I think that's a good investment for you.
I did that before I watched that, Julian. Don't
This is
care
a
about
plug
fantasy
for
therapy.
Juju's fantasy therapy. Helping
Go
you
burn that
61 in your
scarf.
league.
Burn that scarf.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I sat him on my bench and would have won if I started him. I hate you, Julian. I'm sick and tired of you dropping 160.
AJ, here's the thing. We each had 2 players on both of our sides go out for freak weeks, right? You had AJ Brown, you had Tony Pollard. I had C-Mac and Alvin Kamara. Just so happens that 2 of them are better than the other 2. And I want to thank you for giving me Alvin Kamara for that week. So thank you.
The guy you gave me for Kamara would have won me the game. It wouldn't have mattered. I still would have had the better team. But no. I would have won the trade technically if I would have started DK.
You know what? I started all your guys against you too. Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, they all say hi. They're all going to the fantasy football championship this year. So.
Oh my God.
Cheers, man.
And having 40 plus from two players. Jerry put it in our chat. 80 plus points from two guys. That's ridiculous.
Alrighty, well, I guess we don't have to gather a statement from Julian then. Back to you, Todd.
Thank God that's over. Let's just get this over with some post-trade deadline fantasy therapy.
Namaste, my children. Welcome back to Juju's Fantasy Therapy, where I can help you unfuck up your fantasy football season. Lately, we've been working on the concept of tricking your dumb league mates into accepting trick players. And let's talk about 3 big names that you can play that move with. First up is Miles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles. If you find yourself in possession of Miles Sanders, he's probably been great for you, but so would a wide receiver too. And you can probably slightly downgrade from Miles Sanders and get an upgrade at wide receiver. So take that advantage. Next up, Leonard Fournette of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The RB8 in PPR is still going to be really great, but I don't trust an offense led by a recent divorcee. And finally, Jonathan Taylor. Drafted as the running back 1 in most formats, Jonathan Taylor has been absolutely dong water at RB33. Use that name value. Namaste.
And I've looked through the rest of this week's lineup. We don't have to hear from Julian again, I promise. Okay, before getting into that sweet punishment footage, let's look at our biggest matchup going into week 9. AJ and Jerry, how you feeling, boys?
Honestly, Jerry, you were kind of sad because you were like lamenting because you were like dead in the water, but you had a great week yourself.
It was pretty solid, but
What? Who let Julian be this man, bro? He's going team after team. Oh, come here. Let me give you a hug. You're doing so well. Someone beat this man, please. I'm sick and tired of it, man.
Good civil behavior. And finally, what you all came to watch. We've been able to reach our Commissioner Terry to convey this week's punishment onto Kendall. What does Michael B have in store for him, Commissioner?
So for this week's TFL punishment, Kendall, my man, the biggest loser, you are going to have to eat something super spicy. Even spicier than how Brady kisses his kids in the mouth, bucko. Go ahead and get ready for some real heavy shit.
And there you have it. We'll leave you with this footage from Kendall's sentence, and we'll catch you next week, folks.
But before we close out today's show, before we end for the week, I have one epic announcement. This man needs to be fucking stopped. I am tired of seeing Lisa Wilson's friends in the winner's bracket every single week. A guy that doesn't put in any work to his fantasy team. A guy that lucked up by getting Christian McCaffrey. He forced a trade for him to go to San Francisco. A guy that happened to draft some of the best cohesive talent around. I give him credit for that. But for him to troll everybody in his winning and just be such a sore winner, there is no space for that shit in my league. And I will not tolerate any of it, Julian. You hear me? I won't tolerate any of it. So please, fantasy owners, moving forward, when you see Lisa Wilson's friends on the schedule, circle that game and prepare for war. Strap on your little hard hat, put your helmet on, and start to think about ways to end Julian's reign. I am sick of this shit. Damn. Now I gotta go golf with Roger. So, tune in next week.
Thanks to Devontae Adams sucking at life last week, I now have to eat a bunch of hot things, which I don't like spicy food whatsoever. I just ate my first hot wing for the first time in my life last month, and I now have 10 volcano wings sitting in front of me. So thanks, Devontae. coming for that title. F you, Devondre.